This year marks my 10 years with the PAP Community Foundation. Through 10 questions, I reflect on my journey, my lifestyle, and what lies ahead. Wow, that's challenging. I recall reading that there are about 170,000 words in current news to over 1 million. Ibakaya, technical, and different forms of words are included. Let me see if I can give a 1 in a million answer. I think that word might be unexpected. Why? In the past 10 years I've been CEO, many unexpected things happen. To be more exact, I should say, expected things in unexpected haste. For Sparkle Thoughts, the most profound ones are this. When I joined PCF 10 years ago, we had about 380 Sparkle Thought preschools. Of these, 85% were kindergartens and 15% full-day childcare establishments. And due to sweeping societal changes like increasing number of dual-income families and lesser full-time grandparents, we had to accelerate the conversion of kindergartens to full-day childcare. Today, the table has flipped. 85% are full-day childcare and 15% are kindergartens. At the same time, we had to right-size and right-locate some of our preschools. Our analysis revealed that preschools that are in financial deficits are largely those with capacity of less than 150. And about 70% of our preschools are below that capacity. As a result of population movement, we find ourselves operating in areas which are term mature. So we had to find ways to rationalize our preschools, which means closing, merging, consolidating, and right-locating some of them. And we had to be mindful of the impact on our Sparkle Thoughts children and their caregivers. And then further unexpected development came from the emergence of MOE kindergartens, or MKs for short. Sparkle Thoughts support these MKs by converting some of our preschools to early years preschools. Here, when our Sparkle Thought kids reach K1, they move to the MKs. And this affects our enrollment because if parents want straight through all the way to K2, they will enroll their kids in the other preschools. While these changes were taking place, we were required by our regulators to yank Sparkle Thoughts operations out of HQ into a separate entity or a subsidiary of sort. So massive legal and operational changes were needed. So therefore, as CEO, I felt like a pilot who had to change engines mid-air and still keep the plane flying. The rapid change in the senior care sector was also unexpected. 10 years ago, we decided to embark on a senior care service called Sparkle Care. We had no experience in senior care, so we had to learn everything from scratch. We thought, okay lah, no rush, slow and steady, win the race. But events of the last few years jolted us from our slumber. Government's initiative like Age Well SG, Healthier SG, meant that we cannot continue to build Sparkle Care at our leisurely pace. We could no longer seek authorities' approval to convert a defunct Sparkle Thought preschool for senior care use. We had to bid for sites today. Then in recent years, the integrated community care model, or the ICCP model, was introduced, which means back to the drawing board to re-strategize. The acceleration to establish active aging centers, AACs, brought more unexpected twists and turns. These unexpected changes in quick succession required not just the nimbleness from our Sparkle Thoughts and Sparkle Care teams, The HQ services like finance, HR, procurement, facilities, IT, DCD, and others have to up the ante too. Without everyone's commitment, passion, and tenacity, there's no way I could have changed engines in mid-air and still keep the plane cruising smoothly for the past 10 years. Indeed, I would love to share all of them. But if I have to pick one, it has got to be the one about people. I'm a firm believer that people can make or break an organization. For an organization to flourish with a happy culture, we need to connect the heart of every single staff to his or her mind. And then collectively, every heart and mind to the heart of PCF. So, building a happy and engaged team has been and still is my obsession. In 2015, just when I joined PCF, I came across a Straits Times article featuring companies that were recognized as Singapore's Great Places to Work, awarded by the Great Place to Work Institute. I read with immense interest the sharing by these head honchos of these organizations on what made them wonderful places to work. I distilled the essence of this sharing into PowerPoint slides and share them with my leadership team. I rallied them to make PCF a great place to work by 2022 as part of our 5-year roadmap from 2018 to 2022. Over the next few years, we stepped on the gas and went full throttle to engage staff through one PCF conversation focus groups, town halls, center, department, and division engagements. Divisions were encouraged to engage one another to thresh out any kinks. HQ staff entanglements and misunderstanding were openly shared, discussed, and resolved, or agree to disagree. It was the birth of our We movement, called One PCF. As a result of these relentless staff engagements driving the One PCF movement, in 2020, we were recognized by the Great Place to Work Institute as not just a great place to work and learn, but also one of Singapore's top 10 workplaces. And lo and behold, in 2021, fresh across the headlines of the Straits Times, on the 21st of July 2021, PAP Community Foundation ranked #1 large workplace in Asia. We were lauded for our employees' trust, innovation, company values, and leadership. And we didn't just stop there, no? Inspired by these accolades, we pressed on with our efforts in making our staff the center of everything we do. We were again voted as a great place to work in 2024. And in addition, we made it into the list of the Straits Times top 250 best employers in 2023 and in 2024. We were, I think, number 198 in 2023. We got better, 71st in 2024. And in 2025, we were ranked 53rd. And mind you, the ranking includes MNCs and local giants like Google, Apple, BMW. I think SIA and DBS were also in the ranking, and the likes. And in each of these years, in 2023 and 2024, we were the only preschool in the list. In 2025, when we were ranked number 53rd, the next preschool was ranked 221st. Not to put others down, but merely to say that our efforts in building a happy and engaged workforce is certainly bearing fruits. And besides these external validations, our internal benchmark is also showing consistent annual retention rate of over 90% over the past few years. This is my highlight for the past 10 years. But I also know building culture and bonding people is work in progress. There are still a lot of work that need to be done. It's the opportunity to use what I learned in my corporate life to good effect in making a difference to the lives of families, children, and seniors. Today, PCF Sparkle Club Preschool is the largest preschool operator and a quality one. Not because we are all over Singapore, it's because more than 90% of our parents said so in our annual parent survey for the past few years. PCF Sparkle Care is an emerging force in the senior care space. More and more operators are keen to form alliances with us. And our preschool senior care centers and their staff are constantly featured in the media for their learned views and for winning national awards for quality and excellence. Our One PCF culture that we have been painstakingly building since I came on board has earned accolades for us as a great place to work and even amongst the Straits Times best employers in the past 3 years. These are the efforts of everyone in PCF. But I'd like to also give myself a pat on the back too. There are so many. But it's got to be those when I don my full Sparkle Club uniform and the kids looked amused as to why this adult is wearing the uniform. Or senior at the Sparkle Care Center pull me aside and say, Tia, I remember you. You're my son's primary school classmate, right? You used to come to my house to play football. Mind you, the seniors are not demented. Or staff at the center coming up to me and saying, CEO, you're the best ever. There are many reasons that make me smile. There are also many reasons that make me frown. Leaders at our preschools and senior care centers, they are the key influencers of our teams. And I said many times that what we say in HQ has limited impact on the teams at our preschool and senior care centers. It is the words of the center principals and center managers that carry more weight. I keep asking our leaders, are we treating our staff the way we want our bosses to treat us? We must remember, do unto others what we want others to do unto us. Yes, I know our staff may have hurt, but even so, it's the harshness of the tone which I have an issue with. The hurtful words used by our leaders to our staff can break hearts. I know sometimes our staff can make our heart, or rather our blood boil. I get it. There's a saying that the tongue has no bones, but it is strong enough to break a heart. So be careful with our words. Remember, the way we respond is as much an indication of the kind of person we are as the people we're addressing now. So leaders, don't belittle our influence and effect on our teams. We can make or break our staff's morale and livelihood. There's also another meaningful saying that our boss has more impact on our mental health than our therapist or our doctor. Thus, having a good boss or a bad boss can literally change our lives. And one more thing. If we accept the call to leadership, then we must be willing to be misunderstood, criticized, opposed, accused, and even rejected. So never try to be popular. I'm told that if there ever is an election for the position of CEO PCF, it will be a walkover for me. My HODs and those who have worked with me for the past 10 years know that I don't go for populist policies just for the sake of it. Then how so am I often mentioned as one of the many popular people in PCF? It's because I live, breathe, and embody this adage. People will forget what you said, people will forget what we did, but people will never forget how we make them feel. Even the late Frank Caprio, reputed to be the kindest and most compassionate judge in the world, cited the same quote in his book, Compassion in the Court. So let people naturally draw to us by doing the right and kind things. Start with respect, regardless of people's status and station in life. Okay? Not easy, but with a bit of effort, it's achievable. Let me explain. When I was in the bank, it was literally impossible not to work after office hours. There was always what we call the prayers meeting every work day at 8 a.m. when we had to share with senior management on what we call the big 5 strategies for the work day ahead. So almost every night, I had to prepare a believable set of plans for each work day to get the bosses on my back, at least for the coming day. And I cannot plan during the day because it depends on how the day ended. Then I would know what needed to be done the following day. But at PCF, unless there are urgent matters, most emails can wait. But I have this habit, I'm sure whether it's good or bad, that I must clear as many emails as possible before the night is out. So every day I chase this difficult task of achieving 0 item in my inbox before hitting the sack. And it's that stress. But despite the stress and demands placed on me, I still manage to find time to recharge and stay energized. As head of the organization, I cannot look very listless and lifeless, right? How can I be a herald of hope if I look defeated every day? So I need to eke out some time every day to de-stress and chill. I'd like to share a few daily routines. One, I try now at least to run maybe 2 times a week, 30 to 45 minutes. Slower, just a sweat. Next, I practice mindfulness for about 10 minutes before I sleep every night. Third, I read about 30 minutes every night. I once read that CEOs read at least 15 books a year. And for the past 3 years, I've been averaging, I think, about 1 book per month. Not easy, because by the time I got into bed, I'm really so sleepy. In my early days, I read biographies of political figures. Most of them had humble beginnings, so I'm curious, how did they make it to the top? Like how a peanut farmer, or an actor ended up as President of the United States. Then I went on to read self-improvement and inspirational books. And as I got older, especially the last 2 years, I told myself, chill lah, relax. Perhaps for once in my life, I should read for leisure and pleasure. So I dabbled into fiction, especially horror and political thrillers. This year, I'm a bit slow. Not sure because of the age factor. I'm only on my 7th book. At most, 1 more book before the year is out. So I'm going to miss my reading KPI for the year, but thankfully there is no drawback. Then I have my usual weekend golf game, and on the nights where I'm not running, I will hit the gym. I think all in all, I have a pretty good balance. No complaints. Here you are. Today's no exception too. But it's a good question. for which I don't really have a good answer. I'll puzzle you more if I tell you I'm really not a coffee drinker. For instance, when we go for set lunches, the Western ones, at the end of the meal, we'll always be offered coffee or tea. I always say neither and ask if I can have a Coke instead. And it's not just this. For instance, I don't take curry or sambal or belacan when I have my chicken rice or my Hokkien noodle. No noodle. No, what I meant is no chili. How can I no noodle? But I love chili padi. So these are the irony about me. I guess the Starbucks thing is a habit thingy. When I was in the bank, there was a Starbucks near my office. So every morning my bosses would get a coffee on the way to office, Milo, right? So I thought, oh, it's quite cool. Huh? Maybe I should do the same thing. And I drink only Starbucks. Somehow I just prefer it. And only caramel macchiato, venti size, less sugar and make it hot. No other type of coffee from the other joints like Coffee Bean or Luckin. But now even more leceh to upkeep this habit as there are no Starbucks near the office. And on days where I badly needed a booster, then Starbucks also not good enough. I need the red blue, the dark blue ones. Anyway, today's Starbucks is good enough. Cheers everybody. Don't be surprised when I say I'm OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder, but very, very mouthful. You see, I'm very particular about tidiness and neatness in my surroundings, in my home, in my car, my office, and even drawers in my office. For those in the cabinet that I don't usually open, I don't care lah. I guess this is mild OCD. Those with chronic OCD, even inside the cupboard, they have to make sure all kakanan lulus and make sure that everything is neat and tidy. At home too, first thing I come home, believe me, still in my working clothes. I will go around the house, room by room, to make sure that the pillows and the bolsters are stacked neatly. Clothes are hung nicely on the pegs. And my wife's toiletries are positioned correctly. The SK2 logo, for instance, must be facing out. Toilet roll must be pulled from the outside out and not from the inside out. So my son always tells me, Dad, this is a home, not a show flat. But the best part is that I don't insist people around me do what I do. In other words, you can mess all you want. I will just tidy it. It's okay. I never demand others to follow the way I am so obsessed with tidiness. And I don't tell them, why you cannot do what I used to do? Because if I do that, there'll be trouble and unhappiness all around. And that will be chronic OCD. Thankfully, I'm the mild form. That's an interesting question. You see, so far I haven't been able to convince anyone that I'm an introvert. I can understand now because everybody sees me bouncing around, laughing, chatting, and playing with the Sparkle Top kids and Sparkle Care seniors, either in person or through my postings in Instagram and LinkedIn. I look every bit like a fun-loving guy, but in reality, I really don't like to yak. I like to be quiet and prefer to just be with myself, my book, and my cup of Starbucks. And when I have cravings like for chatterbox chicken rice and if nobody wants to come along, I have no issue going there alone to enjoy my chatterbox chicken rice and homemade coconut ice cream there. Really sedap. And that's why I also have no issue going on holidays alone. In recent years, I've been to Washington DC, London, Manchester, and recently to Hong Kong and Tokyo, enjoying me time. It's a way for me to calm down, reflect, recharge, and come home stronger and better prepared for the challenges ahead. As long as I have a book in hand, I'm never lonely. I also enjoy driving long distance solo, especially in the night when the traffic is light. And with my favorite Spotify music on, air supply, all our love. England Dan and John Ford Coley, I really love to see you tonight. Or whole place fix you. Oh, that's an interesting question. In 3 days' time, we will be bringing together 40 of the best brains in PCF for a 2-day retreat to answer this question. What's next for PCF in the next 5 years? Many of these 40 attendees are our talents. Sparkle Gems, we call them. They are the future leaders of PCF, Sparkle Thoughts, and Sparkle Care. Therefore, it is important that they are amongst the authors of this roadmap, covering the period 2027 to 2031. We want them to be ready to contribute bold ideas, engage in meaningful dialogue, and co-create PCF's strategic direction covering the period 2027 to 2031. All the participants will have a chance to alter the trajectory of PCF, factoring their personal vision, the emerging trends and societal needs that they are observing, and their hopes for the families and communities we serve. We will ask the participants to imagine it's 2021. That is the end of our 5-year roadmap, and PCF has evolved in extraordinary ways that make them incredibly proud. What does that look like? We will challenge them with provoking questions like, what new needs could PCF address? What opportunities PCF should consider? What capabilities would PCF need that we don't have today? We'll use the 2-day retreat to craft the first draft of the strategic pillars. That is the what's for the next 5 years. And over the next 12 months, that is throughout 2026, we will engage all PCF staff, HQ, Sparkle Thoughts, as well as Sparkle Care, in one PCF Conversations focus groups to get views of the strategic pillars, and more importantly, the hows to achieve these pillars. This will be the most extensive ground-up engagement that we will do since 2018, when we embark on our first 5-year roadmap called OO3Ps, or the overarching outcome of the 3 Ps that covered 2018 to 2022. I've been asked many times if I regret leaving a lucrative job as a banker to join PCF. My answer is yes, I regret not joining PCF earlier. I would have enjoyed a more exhilarating and meaningful journey much earlier. But like they say, better late than never.